just like a Cation drawn to Cation nip. Is that a thing? I don't know. You are here compelled to catch another episode of Mission Log Live. It's 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern on a Monday night. I'm John Champion.
And I'm Holly Amos. Each week on Mission Log Live, we're covering what's new in Trek. And what's new is that the new season of Lower Decks is premiering in just a couple of days. Because we're talking about all things Lower Decks, we're welcoming a very special guest tonight. You may know her as Dr. Tiana of the USS Cerritos. She is Gillian Vigman, and we will be able to meet her a little later tonight. So be sure to call in via Zoom or with your phone number. The phone number is on the screen. Where is it? It's over here.
It's somewhere. It's in there somewhere. They can find it. Yeah. So that's right. That's what you do. You click on the Zoom meeting link, or you use the one tap from your smartphone, or you call us at 669-900-6833 and make sure you enter the meeting code and password. Then you'll be on with Earl, and he will greet you in a most pleasant manner. And then he will send you over to us, and we will be at least half as pleasant. Holly, welcome back to the show. So glad to have you with us again here as we wrap up our sort of in-between time, and then we get to jump over to Lower Decks, but we'll have you back. So happy about that. Yeah.
I'm glad that I was able to sort of start the launch off first, and I will be watching Lower Decks along with you guys, and then I will be back for when season 4 of Discovery comes back as of now. So excited.
Yes, I look at it.
More Star Trek.
Yeah, date TBA. We're hoping that we'll find out when Disco will be back. I do want to say hi to folks in the chat, because the chat room, people started jumping into Facebook almost right away, and some important names in there. Of course, Scott Palm. We have more than one Paul at least. We've got Paul Harveth. I believe we have Paul Wright. Yep. There will be many, many more Pauls joining at some point. There's Dave. Other Dave is hanging out in there too. You guys, you know how to tell each other apart. There's Benjamin. Benjamin already says, I can't wait for Lower Decks season 2. We're going to be talking about that. Let's see. There's Barry, who is currently, by the way, that is Professor Barry, who is in Vegas right now at the Rio, checked in, excited about the convention coming this week, and he is in his room at the hotel watching this. So welcome, Barry. And by the way, have to say a shout out here to my friend and yours, Holly, Chris Doohan. There's a Star Trek name right there.
Mr. Doohan.
Yeah,
hello.
Chris. And I'm sorry that you won't be in Vegas. It will miss you there, but hope to see you sometime. It has been a while. Well, it's been a while since we've seen anybody, but it's definitely been a while since we've seen you. And all you folks who are there. Nate says we're going to have STLV discussion a little bit. We'll get into that in just a second. Greetings from Minnesota. Greetings from Scotland. I mean, people from all over.
Greetings from my parents. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Very cool. So very nice to have all of you joining us. And Holly, just remind everybody what they should do to join us in our conversation tonight with our special guest.
You can join us live by clicking on the Zoom meeting link, or by using the one tap from your smartphone, or calling 669-900-6833 and entering the meeting code and password.
Yes. Now, somebody asked what was coming up. I'll get through that very quickly. Let's see. Next week on Mission Log Live, of course, we're kicking off our coverage of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2. Norman and Ashley V. Robinson will be back here at the same time Monday night. And it'll be nice to welcome Ashley back after helping us cover Season 1. So we're looking forward to that. I believe last week, Norman talked about not coming to Vegas this year. Very understandable. It definitely, his concerns are in the right place. But of course, the 55-year mission continues. Here's what you have to look forward to. Every morning of the convention, Jessica Lynn Verdi and I will be doing a live stream from the Roddenberry stage. And mornings are very difficult for me. So I'm looking forward to Jessica actually handling the show for me and really doing the lion's share of the work. But tune in either here or on the Roddenberry YouTube page or on the Roddenberry Facebook page, on Twitch. We will be all over the place. We will have many special guests. We'll be previewing what's coming up on the Roddenberry stage. So join us there. If you can be in Vegas, it'll be great. We'll tell you what to look forward to that day. If you can't be in Vegas, we'll give you a recap and we'll have those special guests with us. The panels are coming together. There are costume events at the Roddenberry stage. There are some deep dive topics. I know that already Dave and Paul and Michelle Harveth, they've got things happening on our stage. I really look forward to those. And yeah, right away, David Takechi says, by morning, are we talking LA mornings or, morning? Well, okay, Wednesday it starts at 11 a.m. It gets earlier after that. That's when I'm just going to have to tap out. We'll see what happens. And the Roddenberrys will be playing. Their band is going to be there live every day. And I can't wait, Holly, the match game. The match game will be back with our celebrity panel. Okay, and I'm gonna let everybody know right now. We're gonna try to live stream this. If we can't, please make sure you are there. I believe it's Saturday afternoon. Celebrity guest panel currently includes Julianne Grossman, John Billingsley,
Nice.
Noah Averbach-Katz, and Charles Nelson Riley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good group.
Yeah, Charles Nelson Riley. I'm not going to say how, but we have Charles Nelson Riley as part of our panel. And of course, Gene Raygun, your host, who bears no resemblance to me whatsoever. So look forward to that coming up on stage at the Roddenberry stage on Saturday. The match game this week on Mission Log DS9 After Image. And then we will be off for a week, but there should be a special episode in your feed from Vegas. So look out for that. And Holly, unless there's any other important news to cover on your end, anything Trek related? Yeah.
I'm drinking from a Trek cup, and one of the Pauls asked me what I'm drinking.
And what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Michelada, as always, because they're delightful.
Good. That is awesome. Well, that sounds like a perfect time then to wait a minute. Carlos says, who is that in the chair under the wait a minute. That's just John Champion running his live broadcast. Yes. That'll be me from a hotel room in Vegas, one eye open. But let us now, without further ado, welcome our guest tonight. I am so excited, so happy about this. You know her as Dr. T'Ana from Star Trek Lower Decks, but there is so much more to our special guest. She is Gillian Vigman. Gillian, welcome to the show.
Hello. By the way, I'm so sorry. I'm literally lying in bed.
That's fine.
That is the so proper excited. Way to broadcast. Yes. That is.
I'm on the East Coast lying in bed, and I am thrilled to be here.
So you've been traveling, a little family trip, and home for you originally is New Jersey. So that's in that
very
area,
sexy
right?
place.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Although I've come to love it, having as I've been living in California, you go from the golden browns of the summertime colors to verdant greens of the East Coast, and you are sort of shocked, like, oh, that's right, it rains here a lot,
right,
continually. So now, that I remembered.
Is it true that in New Jersey you describe your location by highway exit, by like where you are off the turnpike? Okay.
I'm happy. And this time I can't say turnpike, but I'll say Garden State. Ooh. I am 142B, if anyone's interested. It's very close to Newark Airport, so you can get in and out of the state very easily.
That's excellent. Good to know. Look, there's so much to get into, and particularly with Dr. T'Ana, we're going to talk about so much there to unpack. Oh. I mean, I went back and rewatched some stuff, and I've got questions.
I can't wait.
But I want to go prior to that. I was interested to see that you went to Second City. You were a part of Second City in Chicago. And was that sort of the start of your comedy/acting career? Was that sort of the birth of it, or?
Yes, absolutely. I think that it was, I guess the best way to say it was nearly like a graduate program. So I went through the program there of the conservatory, as we discussed before, John, and I would say that once I did that, I had the bug that I really wanted to see if I could get further. I moved on to the touring company, and from the touring company, I understudied the stages. Both they have the smaller stage, which is a little bit more, I guess I would say risque, the ETC stage, and then the main stage, which was nearly every night, and that was sort of the main draw. I loved it, and if you know anything about touring anything, like touring bands or touring anything else, we did tour in dirty vans and went all over the country, including Europe in some cases. I'm sure they've gone other places since then, but it was a great way to get your chops up. I love the people I toured with. It was always something like 3 men, 3 women, uh, a stage manager, and a musical director. And it was one of the best experiences of my life, bar none. I would not trade it for the world. And it smelled terrible a lot.
Nice. I bet that sticks with you. That's a sense memory that yeah. And was that your focus, your goal? Was it about comedy, or was it about sort of a training tool to get into dramatic theater, to break into film, TV? What was the career trajectory you had thought of for yourself there?
I love that you think that I had that much going on that I would know that stuff. I was probably too drugged out and drinking, but I would say that I honestly went into it first because it was the comedy. I thought it was just the coolest, funniest thing to do that I could imagine doing, with the idea of what could I use this for later. And I think one of the things I thought about was the idea of, if I moved, say, to Los Angeles, could this parlay into something that would be more comedy? Would it be more drama? And the nice thing is, I do think it was a great base for all of it. And I would say that I'm still friends with a lot of those people today. And it was a great way to get to know people. When I moved to LA, I'm still friends with most of those Chicago people. And it is so easy to fall back into the same pattern, like you're in some sort of gross frat house of how you treat everybody you're working with. I see them as much as I can. I love it. It's just like any kind of school that you'd ever go to. I will never trade. I can remember certain shows we did in Montana where we were feeling like we were getting run out of town, but finding it to be immensely satisfying when that would happen.
Nice. And there's another comedy sketch that I had looked up that I was very happy to find online, and that is a Funny or Die segment that you wrote and starred in called Baby Boss. And I cannot repeat on air tonight what the funniest line is in there, but you know the one, and it is hilarious. So yes, thank you.
I'm getting uncomfortable. Here's the best part about that, because I know that when I first came onto Zoom, my son's name came up instead of mine, because sometimes he's a little bit more tech savvy than I am.
Right.
And that's the baby.
No, seriously.
I'll just say this.
Okay.
When I show my son this, he'll be like, I want you to disown me. Can I say that? Please look back at some point and look at this. But my husband, this is so crazy, but there's a scene where, I'll just say this because we felt like we were ahead of the curve, because now there's Baby Boss, all those movies for young children.
Sure.
Ours is, I'll say, how about this? A little bit more lascivious in a mature manner, Baby Bosses, but the best because we're treating them like they're adult bosses and we're their minions. There's a scene where I'm blowing on a little baby who's dressed in a suit, and he's my boss, and I'm trying to seduce him. Please just go with me on this. This is before like 2008. So
yeah.
Or no, this was like 2010. So before a lot of things came out. But I was blowing on him and he liked it because he's a baby, and he fell back and you can hear his head hit the desk. He was fine. But my husband, his father, was underneath the desk, and the tightness of the bang and my husband's voice going, angry, could not be cut out.
Oh, no. It was
tight. So if you listen closely, if you ever watch it again, you can hear my husband's anger at the fact that he is a part of something he finds disgusting.
Oh my God. Amazing. That is fantastic.
And if it's brought up now, he's like, I'm still disgusted by your behavior. I'm like, Ben will never know. And Ben will know soon.
It is. All right. So just for our audience, go look it up. Go look up Funny or Die,
Honestly.
Baby Boss.
And just remember, it was like before 2011, please don't cancel me. And my son indirectly.
Yeah, you own that. Come on, you just own it.
I loved it. It.
There you go. We are going to get into Star Trek talk here,
yes.
and many other things. There are just some comments here real quick, and Alan is standing by. We're going to go to you in just a moment. Somebody in the chat just Benjamin says, "I'm curious, what's Gillian's favorite part of working on the Lower Decks production?"
Oh my gosh, that is in some ways, it's such a loaded question. I have found working on Lower Decks to be so gratifying because Mike McMahon has created such a funny, tight show that it is a joy to walk in and record anything they give me. And they are open to changes. They are open to things that they would like to tweak. The entire writing staff is so, they know their stuff inside and out, and they also are so funny. And the scenarios, I have to say, it's honestly, the actual act of recording has been one of the best jobs I've ever had. One of the best. So
and you've had a lot of jobs, man.
I've had some jobs. And this one is just so delightful because it's so smart and funny. And I joined late to the Star Trek world, so I'm learning about it as I go. And I have such a deep respect for the amount of work they want to put into keeping the history and what has already been created alive, and to kind of keep the ball rolling and to keep going with it. It's been a total joy. And I love playing a dirty old cat doctor.
We're going to talk about that dirty old cat. By the way, Eddie, you say no Brady Bunch content today. No, I'm sorry, no Brady Bunch content today, but we will see whatever tangents we find here. It was the whole thing last week.
Can I interject a tangent?
Oh, please. Yes.
I always love Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about Brady Bunch last week.
It was
a lot.
Great. It was glorious. Yeah.
My tangent that I want to go off, and let me front this with Gillian. When I was in college, I was an advertising major, so I have a degree in advertising, and I graduated right around the time that you took over as Cricket Box. So, I remember seeing you in all of these commercials that I was studying prior. You have so many commercial credits.
Oh, listen, bread and butter. I will never mock. Regardless of the commercial, it was an insanely exciting time to do commercials for me. And I can only imagine, having learned so much from both the writing side of commercials, that commercial was one of the most dreamy jobs. It's not the same thing as being a Cation doctor, but it was such a cool time to watch how the business worked and to be a part of it. I loved it.
I loved watching you. I loved studying some of the commercials that you were in. And then right as I graduated, everything changed.
Yeah, it's so true. I have to say, that was such a great commercial because those ran for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And just a side note, the guy who plays Jack, as in Jack in the Box, his real name is Jacques.
Oh my God.
Is it really?
Fantastic.
Yeah. He was originally a Canadian guy his name is Jacques, and he lives on an island off Washington State. And I think Jack in the Box has basically made his life. It's the greatest story ever.
Oh, how could it not? That's amazing. A couple of great comments. Carlos says, "Can we pause for 2.5 minutes while I watch Baby Boss?" Carlos, you knock yourself out. Report back to us. Julie says, "I identify with the dirty old cat doctor." Yes, we will get into that as well. And then Barry says, "Oh dear God, I just watched Baby Boss. This was wonderful, and I apologize for my wandering attention." Barry, it's fair. It's fair. Completely.
My poor son.
Without further ado, let's welcome our next caller, first caller. Alan. Alan, who is calling all the way from Lower Decks yet again.
Hey,
Alan, welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It feels good. Hello, John. Hello, Holly.
Hello.
And what's up, Doc?
Oh, thank you very much. Well played. Well played.
Yeah,
Nice. Very good.
I've been working on that all week.
What is on your mind tonight, Alan?
Well, I mean, just first of all, congratulations on Lower Decks. It's a great show. We're all, obviously we're all big fans, and it's great to have it back. It's great to have a funny take on Star Trek that's intentionally funny. I mean, sometimes it just kind of happens that way. And Gillian, it's great to have the crazy old cat doctor. And I guess to start off with, I know a lot of voice actors say things like, a bad impression is a good character and things like that. Do you have any sort of, touchstones or origins for the voice of Dr. Tana or anything that you're kind of drawing from when you develop that voice?
That's a really great question, Alan. I have to say what was so wonderful about the audition process is, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think I saw the sketches of Dr. Tana before I even walked in there. It was just the description. But it was, I think a lot of performers would say that sometimes they read a description or they read the writing and they say, I get this. I feel like I get where this is going. Or they read it and they say, this is so, I want to be in this. I read it and I was like, this is hilarious. I don't understand it, because they kept it fairly secretive. They did not want to give away too much. And I remember even when I went to go in to meet with them, you didn't know anything. I learned more about what it was only when I did the second audition. And I do tend to sit in a lower register anyway. And most of my characters in general are a little bit off. So it felt, maybe, I don't know if off is the right word, but a little bit odd. It felt so delightful to try to play with this when I auditioned for Mike and the entire group, that it was nearly a joy trying to find it with them when I sort of found it as I went along, because I sit in this register. At one point they had me, this was great. They're like, try Tendy's character. And let's be honest, I was like, okay. And it was such an ill-fitting character, but it only made it clearer that I would play something closer to I don't know, a worn down but well-lived cat doctor. Or Cation doctor, excuse me.
Yes. Yeah,
well, they're cats. Let's be real.
601. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you know what a Cation was when
No.
you heard that? You didn't know it. Okay.
Not at all. And what was so genius was when Mike showed me the pictures from the 1970s, because although I grew up in the 70s, I had not seen the short-lived animated version of Star Trek. And I loved his take on sort of going against character, because if I'm not mistaken, it was like the Michelle Pfeiffer of cats.
Yeah, she was very,
Right.
I mean, she was voiced by
Nichelle.
Oh
no.
No. She was Chapel. Majel.
Yeah,
God, Chapel.
Yeah.
She was voiced by Gene's wife. So she made it very like purry and
she
like,
purred all the damn time.
Yes.
Always purring.
Well,
So
I was gonna say that too, is that, typically it was very much Julie Newmar.
Yes.
And you get that a lot with Kat. And what I don't know, I am honestly not a pet person myself, but I've been around enough cats to know, that some of them, they all have their own personalities. And for some reason, I think you could have just the voice without the image, and that still reads as cat to me.
Yeah.
Which is crazy in its own way, and it's great.
I feel like sort of like the rundown grumpy cat is actually what most cats are. If you
yeah.
were to like be like, are they purry or are they grumpy? I feel like the majority of cats would fall into grumpy.
Yeah, this is like an alley cat with a doctorate.
Yeah, right. Well,
Not the sexy feline that we want her to be.
Wow.
But this is what I want to get into. It's this idea, like Tiana is just sort of. She always seems like she's been through the ringer. Like there's a chunk of ear missing.
Yes.
She's just kind of pissed off whenever you find her, and just sort of like rattled and maybe hitting the hypo spray accidentally.
Sure.
Maybe not the best choice for a doctor. It seems like that would put a patient very much on edge, but she's still quite capable. And did that develop, or was that just sort of the beginning? They're like, no, she's just constantly on edge, just like strung very tight here.
I think she's high strung. I think she has no bedside manner. I think she's a survivor, just like, let's say, an alley cat would be. But she is an unbelievably great doctor. And she, it's like the idea of those doctors that they're not on the spectrum, but they might be a little bit, because they love the work they're doing and what research and what they learn from it. They don't care so much about the patient except for solving the problem. And this is a cat that I love. And I think at one point I was trying to guess how old she was. And I feel like she's on like the 10th life of 9 months.
right.
Which is why she's so wonderful. And the thing is, like, you can find the soft spot in her, like where would you scratch her per se? And there's more to her than just being this. She's a grumpy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Excuse my French. Yeah. But she's so good at what she does that she's vital to the ship and solving all the problems. And I think there are a few people on that ship that can find the soft side in her, which I think is really kind of the touching part about it. And I think what I like about her too is, like, in this day and age, it sort of doesn't mean as much, but there's like a masculine quality to her, but that kind of offsets the femininity within her. That sounds really strange. Please watch Baby Boss.
Okay, I would like to interject here on that note of talking about that characterization, that the Cations, this is where I go into geeky.
Please.
Like
you just
trivia.
unload the geekiness on us, please.
So geeky trivia. Cations obviously originally were part of the animated series, and a lot of the stuff that in the animated series in 73 and 74 was a direct result of Lincoln Enterprises, which was a company that was owned by Majel and Jean, basically to sell product. And like the IDIC logo was sort of created to sell product, and we actually discussed that last week. But there's a biography of MRES, the first Cation that we meet, and it states that they tend to be small and sinewy, and that their females are delicately dainty.
Shut up.
Oh my God.
1973.
So like, I don't know if Mike's ever read that, but like, he definitely, like, if he did, he railed against that with the characterization of your character.
Perfect.
Oh my God, I love it. By the way, another one in the chat, David, I took a bit of a detour from this live cast to watch Baby Boss.
So sorry.
David, what was it W.C. Field said? Never work with children or animals. Well, okay, there you go. Yeah. And Vince says there's not enough Dr. Tiana product out there for me to spend my money on. Yeah. Have you we're just waiting for the action figures, t-shirts, the whole line.
And the spray, let's talk about this, the cologne, which is like a feral mist.
That needs to happen.
I know that it would have like a pheromone that would either repel you or draw you against your will.
All right. Where somebody's got to tweet that to John Van Sitters at CBS. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's make that happen.
Can we call the cologne or the eau de toilette against your will, or is that too on the nose?
Why not? Let's do it. Alan, hey, before we let you go, well, first of all, I have a question for you. This goes back to the start of the call here. You just said that you're happy about Lower Decks being intentionally funny Star Trek. Please, sir, what is your unintentionally funny Star Trek?
Unintentionally funny Star Trek is things like Picard walking in on Beverly and the ghost candle.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I don't know if that's funny. I have to walk out of the room. That's secondhand embarrassment. I think Threshold is more for me is unintentionally funny.
Mm-hmm.
The ghost sex candle, I have to leave.
Yeah.
Good call. Well, okay.
And on that note,
I can't wait. By the way, I can't wait to buy a ghost sex candle.
Yeah.
I think Gwyneth Paltrow will sell one of those next.
Exactly. Yes.
We can only hope. Yeah. Alan, anything else tonight? Any parting shots before we say goodnight?
No, just again, thank you for all the great work on Lower Decks, and I'm certainly part of the fan base specifically for that show, and I'm looking forward to season 2, and hope we get more of Tana. And I know it's Lower Decks, and I know that they're sort of the focus of the show, but between you and Fred from a couple weeks ago with Shax and whoever his new security guy might be, it's a show with a really deep bench. It's kind of hard to tell who's the sixth man on this show. So, I love it, and can't wait to see more of it.
Yeah.
In a couple of days. Yay!
Thank you, Alan.
Alan,
All
pleasure to see you. Thanks for calling in
Yeah.
tonight. And until next time. And hey, everybody else, if you would like to do what Alan just did, and you click on the thing or you dial the thing and you pick up the thing and you talk to Earl, you know what to do. Join us because, hey, we love to talk. Before we get back to the show, I just very quickly want to give a big shout out and say a big heartfelt thank you to everybody who has joined us on Patreon. No ad this week, just me saying thank you. Patreon.com/missionlog. You folks have been amazing. You've joined our Discord. Norman, who's not here tonight, and again, won't be joining me in Vegas this coming week. He is doing some live programming in our Discord exclusively. Some topic-driven chats. He'll do more on Monday. I guess he did more on Monday today. Today's Monday.
Today's Monday.
It is. He'll be doing the feedback on this week's Mission Log on Thursday afternoon for Mission Log After Dark. So thank you, everybody who has joined us over there. Of course, you get the exclusive preview, our early episodes, the unedited episodes where we're just chatting about nonsense. So if that floats your boat, be sure you check that out. There's swag, there are gifts, there are things that show up in the mail for you. So thank you again, patreon.com/missionlog. And thank you to our newest members, Matt, Eli, Amanda, Jesse, Andrew, and Taylor. We really appreciate it. And we hope to see more of you in our Discord and in the comments on Patreon. All right. So something that somebody says Mission Log NSFW. I feel like that's pretty much what the Patreon feed is like. You're correct, Carlos. And it says, after watching Baby Boss, I'm afraid what I would say during the call. Carlos, look, I'm sure you could refrain a little bit. Hey, I want to ask you, since you, Gillian, you're so new now to the Star Trek family and the Star Trek method, have you had a chance yet to go to any conventions, meet fans in person? I mean,
no, I'm dying to. I know that, obviously
because we lost a year, obviously.
COVID has sort of put a kibosh on some of that. I cannot wait to do a deep dive. I won't look as beautiful as I look right now. I just I look. You know what? I thought this would fit my cat look. This is what if I were a human cat, it looks like I took a wig from the back of my closet, shook it out, and put it on my head for you guys. So you're welcome.
Don't even.
Welcome.
Come on. Yeah.
But she's
no,
not
but
the
I'd
only
love
one
to.
that you have. She's not the only character you have. Keep going.
Right.
No,
yes.
but
Yes. We'll get
I'm
into
so
that.
excited. Right. I would trade wigs to come into a live. I would love to come to a convention. It would be such a dream to meet people and to watch also the Star Trek family unfold, having learned more about it as it's sort of, I've gone along on this really wonderful journey of talking to a lot of different people involved, not only with the Roddenberry group, but also with this writing staff who, and yourselves, like it's so deep and so exciting. And I feel sort of foolish that I didn't know more about it. I watched Star Trek as a kid, but it's really kind of energizing to see how big and loved it is.
Yeah.
Was that sort of a surprise to you then? Because I mean, you do your work behind the mic, and then several months later, the show actually comes out. Then all the press happens. Then the feedback. Then the fan reaction. Was this kind of a mind-blowing thing to you?
Mind-blowing, because I didn't understand how beloved it was. I mean, I knew it was loved, but I didn't understand what a deep it was. And also that there are so many, I knew that there were different movies that had come out and different shows and different entities, but it is like, it's sort of its own, each show has its own fan base, which leads, it's like a family. Like if you look at a family tree and you realize how large it is and how loved it is, I'm impressed by the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we do have Paul, one of our
Pauls.
many Pauls standing by to say hello. Paul, welcome to the show. And I guess, well, Paul, I'm going to see you in a couple of days. When do you and Michelle come into Vegas?
Actually, it's just me, John.
Just you. Okay.
Yep.
We lost your video. What happened?
Let's see what's going on here.
We can hear you.
Share screen. Nope, I don't want to do that.
No. Never do that.
Oh, I just thought his lights went out.
I did too. Yeah. Okay. We'll give you a second here, and we'll vamp, as they say in the business.
Do what you got to do.
So you turn on the lights, do whatever you have to do. David says in the chat here, it'd be cool to have Lower Decks folks at the convention, including Gillian. Of course, I think that would be awesome to have.
I have a feeling that a convention is in your future, Gillian.
I believe so too.
Oh,
yes,
I could be the Catwoman I was meant to be. I would be so happy.
So yes, I think that would be awesome. And let's see here, a couple other. Yeah, Chris says tap dances. That's what we do. We tap dance while we wait for the tech issues to take care of themselves. And Nick DeGood, Nick, who works on Star Trek Online, says we are so glad you're here. Oh. And Nick, we're just waiting for the moment has Lower Decks integrated into Star Trek Online at this point? Do we know? No?
I don't think it has yet.
Okay.
I don't even know what that means. Do I need a vaccination for that?
So,
you might. I think you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Star Trek Online is a officially licensed online massive. Well, I don't know.
MMORPG, massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Yes, and they've been going for they're over 10 years at this point, if I'm not mistaken. But every time something new comes out, they're able to integrate it into the game. And if I'm not mistaken, I haven't been over there in a while. I don't believe that Lower Decks is integrated yet. But if they do integrate it, I'd be very excited to see how.
Nick says there are some Easter eggs. There are some little things dropped in here or there. So next up, voice cast. That's what we're hoping for.
Lovely.
So hey, and Norm joining us in the chat. So Norman, pleasure to see you, my friend. Hello all. Sorry, thunderstorms made my internet dodgy. Well, that's no good, but welcome to the show. Glad to hear that. That's what you get for moving to Florida, Norman. All right, Paul joining us from a well-lit room somewhere in Michigan. How is it going, sir? Welcome back.
Well, now he needs to unmute himself.
Unmute.
Nope.
Oh, now you're muted. Oh, you got this. I believe in you, Paul. There we go.
It?
Yeah,
yes. Welcome to the show, Paul Harvith.
all the technical problems at once. I don't know. I was so excited about hearing the cat doctor wanting to give shots to people. That's
By the way, of all people, I should be the one talking about vaccination.
You should.
Vacations, apparently, there's some issues as well on
Mm.
vaccination. So
It's rough.
I
It's
can't
rough.
only imagine. I got a couple questions I dug up here just because I don't know. You and your group of voice actors are among my favorite people ever now in Star Trek fandom. You're just so funny.
it's such a good group. I have to say, I get starstruck listening to everybody. And when we did the table read for the first episode, it blew my mind to see them obviously in person, but to hear them and physically see them perform. I loved it. It was a kind of an education for me as well to see and everybody was different in how they performed and what they did. It was so cool because you have Fred, who's Shax, who's like a professional, that's what he does. He's a voiceover master. And then you've got people like someone like Tandy, who's just also an all around she's going to be a huge star as an actress as well. But the sharpness, the comedy chops is incredible to watch everybody involved. And I was lucky enough to work with Eugene on something else, Cordero. And I felt like, Eugene, I'm working with you in a different way. This is so cool. And it was really, really exciting to be a part, like to get sort of starstruck over the project that I'm on. So it was great.
That's so cool. Well, Fred was here 2 weeks ago, and he instantly made all of us members of the Fred Tatasciore fan club. There is just no question about it. He is incredible.
So good.
Yeah,
absolutely remarkable. So my question is, if you had any influence on the writers, who would you like to operate on, and what would you do to them?
Oh dear God.
Oh, Paul, you opened a bag of them. That is so good. Let's talk off the cuff here. I mean, I think because she loves the idea of research, I think she would do transplants of brains to see what she could do between, say, well, this would be a perfect thing if you do an upper and a lower. I mean, first of all, who doesn't want to operate on Boimler?
He needs it.
Because
he needs it. He's got to come in.
It.
Yeah.
And I think you would literally make him into, oh gosh, this is Holly. I need your help here. I feel like he would have to become like some sort of female viper.
No, he needs to become Bashir for Holly.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Bashir's my favorite.
Yeah.
Bashir. Well, he's not my favorite doctor. He's just my favorite character on Deep Space Nine.
Wait, who's your favorite doctor?
I think Tiana took over.
Are you just doing that because Gillian's here?
No, I think she did because
be honest.
No, I think she's ridiculous.
Well, ridiculous is that you don't necessarily want that in a doctor, but in personality, I'll take it.
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
Because I don't know how many doctors you've recommended, and you're like, oh, you should see my ophthalmologist. He's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's always like, you should see my doctor. They're the best. And it's like, not everybody is the best. Some of these people have to be terrible at their jobs.
I would
right?
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some half stars out of 5.
Sure.
Doctors that we've been to.
I can't remember who.
I just like Tiana's bedside manner. Like, I think her bedside manner is obviously funnier than Bashir. More entertaining.
She's all business, but she's gruff, but she's all business. And what ensues is hilarity, but also she takes care of the problems.
Yeah.
So there has to be, since you're a fellow alien serving a great deal of humans, I assume you must have went into, your med school training, but then there must have been some sort of Starfleet training with Phlox. So what was that like, being a student beside Phlox in the day? Or maybe you were probably his mentor. So you could create a whole, group of stories there about.
Well,
Do you
and
want
that's
this-
funny. You know,
would you pitch
David.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, David here in the chat says they have a doctors panel at the convention. Now we should get Gillian in there with John Billingsley and
Yeah.
everyone else. And I love this idea. I think that's
Could I
great.
be dressed as the cat? Could I be in full costume?
Damn right you would.
So
No.
Michael Westmore, who has done a lot of the makeup
yeah.
for Deep Space Nine and stuff,
Yeah.
he actually sometimes will do live makeups on the
Yeah.
stage. So he did like the trill spots for Terry Farrell
Mhm.
That's
for her
genius.
trill character in Deep Space Nine. So like maybe we could do like the doctors, but then like Westmore's making you up at the same time
I
as
love
Tiana.
that.
And by the way, we'd have to like cover everything I say because I swear a lot. If you not notice.
Fair.
On the
So
B
it would be a
panel,
lot of fun.
the B panel, it may not matter, right? In the B room. So
That's right. I get to
We
go
can put a
beyond baby
disclaimer on the
dolls.
door. We can put a disclaimer on the door. This
Good.
is rated
That's
R.
perfect.
I like that. By the way, you know, kind of wrapping our heads around all this, Chris Riker says Dr. Tana would eat Phlox's bat. And that's very true. That would probably happen.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So, and other people talking about doctors, you know, Boma, Salar, Ogawa, Pulaski. There's a lot of
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
a lot of good
hospital.
doctors here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a whole thing. Going back to your comment about who you would operate on, Carrie says, I'm guessing Boimler is somewhere on the list because all of Jack Quaid's characters have to suffer. So
Oh,
I think
Sorry
you're
for
right.
laughing. I think that's amazing. Look at that. Look at that sweet cat.
Oh,
Yep, here's this is our kitty. This is the scone. We are cat people here, so I thought, you know, he just showed up, so I'd pick him up.
He looks
Anyway.
a lot healthier than I do.
No temperature.
I wonder if anybody has named their cat after your character yet.
If they're kind of
If
dickhead.
it hasn't happened yet, it will.
it will.
Yes.
It totally
Yes.
will. Yeah. Excellent.
All right,
Well-
it's great to talk to you, and we'll look forward to meeting you at a convention somewhere down the line. The voice panel will be
Okay.
great when it shows up for Lower Decks. That's got to be a must see. Hopefully, Chicago. That'd be great.
Yes.
Yay, Chicago.
Oh, that would be lovely. So nice to meet you, Paul.
Pleasure. Live long and
Paul,
prosper.
Yes.
take care, Paul. We'll see you around, man. See you
John.
very soon in a couple of
Yeah.
days. And I believe that we have another caller just ready to go, ready to talk to us all the way from stormy Florida. It's our own Norman Lau. Norman, welcome to the show.
We'll see if how my internet holds up, but I had to pop in here real quick because if I didn't do this, then I can't say that I kept my promise. But hello, Gillian, how are you?
Hello. So nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too. And I have to say this. This might come as a surprise, and I don't want to really catch you off guard. But my best friend from college came from a town called Summit, New Jersey.
That's where I am right now.
That's where my sister lives.
No way.
That's where my best friend Todd Burrows lives.
Whoa.
I love Todd Burrows. As a matter of fact, I thought about him today. Sorry, Holly and John. Where my parents live, the street I turn up, I drive by the bus stop where we used to pick up Todd. And so I think about Todd Burrows all the time. So side note, Todd's best friend is a guy named John Newman. They're listening. John Newman and I were class clowns for our senior year. And Todd and John beat me out for basically representing the school for comedy because they made John dress up as a woman, knocking me out. So that was Todd's idea.
Yeah.
I love that. Norman, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
That is
I
weird.
love Todd Burrows. Is he? Look, we're having this private conversation here.
I know.
Is he in Idaho still? Where is he? Is he?
No, actually, he's in Jersey. I said Summit, but it's not Summit per se. But I don't really want to put his private information out like here on the internet. But I told him that we were going to have you on the show, and then he said, "Please say hi." And I said, "Yeah, I'll drop a line in for you and Newman because that's the crew that I met after the fact." So it was like Todd, Nom, Newman, Hogan, all those guys. Yeah.
Great. Robustelli. They're all
Robo.
delightful.
Yeah.
They're all, by the way, guys, honestly, Holly, John, they're hilarious, kind, wonderful guys.
That's
So
it.
and I'll say so handsome. All of them so handsome.
I would expect Norman to hang out with no one else. So
Dude, that is crazy. That's crazy.
Wow.
I didn't want to take up too much airtime, but I did promise him that I wanted to say hi for him to you. But if you'd like to catch up a little bit, maybe afterwards offline,
I will.
I would love to.
Side note, I just want to let you guys know that when I was in 10th grade, I had a party when my parents were out of town.
Ooh, that's very movie-esque.
Terrible. All the like seniors from other high schools even came. It got out of control. But John and Todd was like, I know where we can throw all the empty beer cans, because he knew Summit best.
Mhm.
That's how much I love Todd. And we drove cars that we were too young to drive to go dump garbage in the woods. Thanks, America.
Amazing.
I love you, America. Yep.
Amazing.
That's crazy. Thank you, Norman, for making me so happy with that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And like
great.
I said, I promised I would, and I had to. And just the reaction that you had, I'll tell him all about it. He's not a very social media, like, hip dude, but he knows that you were on tonight. So.
Oh, now you guys know that I've been disgusting since I was a child. That's awesome. That
this
makes
was
me so happy.
So worth it. Vince in the chat said, we just had an M. Night Shyamalan reveal here. And you are not wrong, Vince. You are so right. Yeah.
I went to high school with him too.
So,
no, I didn't go to high school.
Did you go to Pingree or did you go to Summit? You went to Summit.
I went to Pingree.
You went to Pingree. Oh,
Yes.
okay. You're a Pingreer. Okay.
Yes, but
Yeah, gotcha.
see how far I've come. I'm not a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals judge. I play a dirty old cat doctor who I deeply respect. So I mean that with all love and respect. So,
And love
but I
James
laugh
Ford.
because in my class, President Obama appointed our class valedictorian, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And Holly, you'll appreciate this. My best friend's mom, who I also went to, she laughed at me and she said, "You do Swiffer commercials." And Michelle Friedland is now the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals judge. And she laughed at me in my face. I'm like, different strokes, different folks, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's all kinds of people.
Incredible.
That's amazing. You just made my night.
I'm glad. And he'll be totally stoked.
Yes.
That you said hi back. So, and he's a huge Star Trek fan. So
Yes.
now I'll have to get him caught up with Lower Decks.
Perfect.
So
That's
cool.
great.
Hey, Norman, how did Monday morning go today?
Morning was awesome. Morning was fantastic.
Good.
It's a little show that we do for our Patreon crew on Discord, and it's just
Nice.
a little one-on-one session. And big shout out to Big Mike and BCAD and Paul Harveth.
Very
for
cool.
showing up.
Really nice.
Yeah,
What a
yeah.
group. What a group.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. All right. Well, you have a great night, and we'll be in touch over the next few days. I'll keep you up to date on Vegas. Okay.
For sure. Everyone be safe out there. Peace.
Sweet.
And Gillian, don't forget to get your Taylor ham and egg, at the Summit Diner.
Yes,
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Norman, stay dry down there too.
I will try my best.
Excellent.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Take care. Fantastic. I love it when our own get to call in, and we have yet another caller right now joining us from Mexico City. It is Alfredo, who is also on the bridge of the Enterprise. Alfredo, welcome to the show. Looks like
His bridge is shiny, though.
I know you're muted. Let's see. Want to make sure that you're unmuted so we can all
There we
hear
go.
you. There you
I'm
are.
here.
Welcome, Alfredo.
Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to all, and welcome to Mexico, at least on my side of the line.
Oh,
But
fantastic.
we're still waiting for season 2 for Lower Decks. I just got season 1
Oh,
nice.
on Blu-ray, as it should
yay.
be.
Very
And
cool.
we're just waiting for season 2. Are there more Dr. Tana-centric stories? We want to know more.
There's going to be a few. We'll let you watch. She is just as dedicated and disgusting. No, she's just as dedicated as she should be. She's in it to win it in all the grossest and best ways. I'm thrilled to be a part. Like, honestly, it has been such a trip to be a part of this.
So cool.
Well,
And-
you make Rose so beautiful.
By the way, can I tattoo that on my back?
Sure.
I love that. I love that.
That's kind of the only appropriate way to do that is as a tattoo on your back.
Permanence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. I feel like you guys really made a connection. That's lovely.
I love Mexico City. I've been meaning, I really want to go down and eat more. I want to do like a food tour in Mexico City. So badly.
I'm the president of the local fan club for Star Trek. So if you want to come down here, just give me a call and we'll show you the sites.
I would love that.
The sites. Please take my word for it.
I cannot.
I'd love to do it.
Thank you. Oh, that's wonderful.
Hey, Alfredo, somebody in the chat says that you have Fiesta colors going on in your bridge, and it is very exciting. We're all very impressed.
Oh, well, upgrades.
Well, I mean, he did come in right after Norman, who's on like a non-shiny bridge.
Yeah,
showing him up, man.
This is
the upgrade.
Show up the co-host. I get it. Very nice.
we try.
Yeah. Alfredo, anything else on your mind tonight?
Well, besides that, it's so cool to be a Trekkie now and not like 30 years ago when we only had 3 series and now we have so much.
Yes.
And it's exciting time to be a Trekkie, and it's lovely what you've done with Lower Decks. We learned to see that the new projects are more of a wait and see thing. We don't judge before looking at them, and you blew it out of the park. It's really a fun, exciting show, and the season 1 finale was incredible. It was.
I feel that way too. I feel I'm so honored to be a part of it, as I said to these guys, and the writing just gets better and better. You'll see. It's been such a treat to do this.
Yes, but the thing is that the writing is enhanced by your voice. Your acting. So that's what clinches it.
I love that. Thank you. Well, and it's really cool to listen to everybody else's voices, the layers of voices and the types of people they use it's such a great group.
Can I ask you a question about that? Actually, I'm curious because I know that particularly last year, people are recording isolated.
Yes.
And you talked about, having a table read where you could at least see the rest of the cast, get a sense of voices. But I'm curious, when you're doing, 10 episodes back to back and you're getting your lines, are you, now that you've met and you've seen some of those people, do you have those voices in your head as the reactions? Because it's hard to act without a reaction.
That's a great question.
What do you do?
I feel like you're absolutely right. It's funny, I can picture them both. The voices go with not only the beautiful, and the animation is so superb to, I picture not only the person who is behind the character, but I feel like I know them. It's a really cool thing this is sort of my first foray into a series. So the more I do it, the more when I read it, I can see them so well. The writers have done such a good job of creating such sort of 3D people and or in this case, not necessarily all people, not always humans, but that you know how you want to react to them as your own character. And it is such a cool thing to get a script and read the part and be like, oh, I know exactly how I would talk to Boimler, how I would talk to Tendi, how I would talk to Freeman. And it's really strange because I do see both the animated character, but I see the person behind it as well, because they become those characters. Like I see them as their full character. So Rutherford is Eugene, and it's such a cool thing to be a part of. So I love it. And maybe I'll, try to make out with Fred when I see him next.
Fair enough.
Don't tell my husband, but
you secret safe here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Alfredo, any parting thoughts before we say goodnight?
Well, just keep it coming, and we will love to watch each show every week, and we'll enjoy it, especially because now I got to know you. So,
thank you so much. Such a pleasure. Thank you for loving the show and watching it. That's such a good feeling.
Yes, we love you here down the tortilla border.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you,
Take care,
Alfredo.
everybody.
Thank you.
Alfredo, take care. By the way, coming in hot with the puns, Alan, who called us earlier, he just dropped this little bon mot into the chat. Guys, I got it. The Dr. Chana perfume should be called Staycation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is why our listeners are the best.
You'll never want to leave, and nor will I let you. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, I love it. Alan, you win. You win the internet. So with that, thank you so much, Gillian. This has been great.
Pleasure.
And thank you to our audience. And Holly, thank you. We'll part ways here. I mean, at least on the show. I'm not cutting you out of my life, but you'll be back. We'll see you at least when Discovery rolls around again. And that is it for another Mission Log Live. Be sure to join next week when Norman and Ashley start off their coverage of Lower Deck Season 2. Mission Log Live is produced by Roddenberry Entertainment. Executive producer, Rod Roddenberry. Technical production on Mission Log Live by the inestimable Earl Green. Be sure to visit podcast.roddenberry.com for the latest from Roddenberry Podcast. If you'd like to support Mission Log directly, give us a look at patreon.com/missionlog. Thank you to everyone who joined us live or later. Stay safe, stay healthy. We look forward to talking with you next week.